Yeah, bro. So we're here today to talk about another episode of The Penguin that dropped on Monday during Labor Weekend. So, your first thoughts on this one?
It's Baca's pretty mean, eh? Opens up a lot of like I think there's more questions now than answers, but it did ask some of the stuff like we were talking about in the last episode, especially where Victor and Oz were heading towards too. Like, especially and having two buckets of the Bliss and wondering how they're going to manufacture that. You get to see that in this episode and how it just turns into a massive ass business. No, it was good. This episode was mean. I really enjoyed this one for some strange reason, better than the last. So yeah, it was cool. How did you find it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good in terms of pushing the story along. Because if you
Yeah,
remember, the next
yes,
episode is the penultimate episode, and those are usually the big extravaganza episodes before the final episode, right?
mm,
So I know Game of Thrones does that a lot. They use the second to last one as the big budget episode. A lot of action happens, and the last episode is like the aftermath.
yeah, and the
Episode.
segue into the next season, kind
Yeah,
of.
I'm not sure if they're gonna do it with Penguin because I think it's only 8 episodes and there's no other season.
Mm.
So I think we're still gonna see Oz emerge as the official Penguin character that's in the comic books at the end of the series and at the end of episode 8, right? And I think with the series, like a lot of the characters, especially Sofia, we've seen their sort of origin stories, and we've seen how the character changes. And with Sofia, especially, we've seen her journey towards what she is now. And what she is now is she's full blown villain, right?
Yeah,
She's Sofia Gigante. She's the head of the family now, and this is who she is. Like, there's no other transformation. This is the final character. Eh? She's
mm.
come out of her cocoon. She's blossomed into a butterfly, and this is what it is. She's full blown villain now, right? I don't think we've seen that with Oz yet. I don't think Oz
No,
has,
I
you
don't.
know, he still called himself Oz. Penguin is a nickname that's been given to him, and it's almost like when people call him Penguin, they disrespect him, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially with the
Especially,
Falcone family.
yeah, especially Falcons, especially Johnny Viti.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't.
yeah, and so I don't think he's actually embraced the name Penguin yet, and it's gonna be interesting because he will. And I don't know if he's gonna pull out the top hat and the eyeglass and the cigarette, the long cigarette of the holder.
Yeah, it's
Like
funny you should say that. Did we see him smoking here?
yeah, he smokes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, and that's right. He was having a cigarette with Sophia. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna do that image of the penguin at the end of this, because I don't know if they feel like it's gonna be too cartoonish, too comic booky.
Yeah, I hope that for me, for this show, I hope they don't. I hope they still keep a gangster
Yeah.
because it'll be way too cartoonish if they start putting the top hat and the little eyeglass or whatever he's wearing.
Mm.
Just keep him as he is.
Yeah. And that's why I think I think something has to happen to him for him to transform.
Yeah,
Because if you look at how Sophia transforms, you know what happens to her. She gets put down to the bottomless pit, so to speak. She's like her life is taken from her in a way where taken from her own family.
yeah,
She's thrown into Arkham. She loses 10 years of her life, and she's just down in the dumps. She's the lowest of the low when she realizes what she has to do, and then comes back out of it and becomes what she is now. So I think with Oz, something like that has to happen to him for him to change to be full-blooded penguin. Hey, do you
yeah,
think or no?
yeah. I think there's a bit of a hint of it in the last episode too. How he talks about his mother, and she might be the connection to that transformation.
Yeah, and it probably is now because when we do the spoilers, we're going to talk about the last scene. But they'll take him over the edge. But yeah, I think with 2 episodes to go, I think as well as finishing up the story, because I still reckon this episode that we just watched is supposed to set up the last 2 episodes, because nothing really happens if you think about it. Everything in this episode is pushed to episode 7 and 8.
Yeah,
it sets up 7 and probably carry on to 8. It's a pretty slow episode.
Yeah, it's like a drum roll.
That's right.
For the next for 7 and 8. And I think that's probably why I enjoy it a lot.
A few pop culture references in this one, too. I noticed. I'll explain more when we talk about the spoilers.
Okay.
Especially with mob movies. Actually, there's a lot of those references spread out in the whole series. So, yeah, pretty good episode. And I think, it really ramps it up for the last 2 episodes. So, have you got anything else you want to say about the episode before we get into the spoilers?
No, I'm not good. I think you said most of... Yeah, I've said most of what I was thinking.
All right, sweet. Okay, we'll get into some spoilers. I'm going to do the synopsis, the WesWes, what the hell happened in this episode. If you haven't seen the episode yet and you don't want us to spoil it for you, you can press pause now and watch the episode. Come back to us after that. We're going to do a deep dive of the episode and tell you guys our favorite scenes and whatnot. So here we go. Here's the synopsis. Episode 6, Gold Summit, directed by Kevin Bray, written by Nick Town. Alright, Oz has grown his operation and his base underground while distributing the Bliss. So he's gone from 2 buckets of mushrooms to a whole factory of it. Sofia and Maroni kill some of the Bliss drug dealers as a warning. Oz plans to give Bliss away for free to raise the demand for the drug. Squid approaches Victor and asks Victor if he can join his crew. Sofia and Maroni break into Oz's apartment and find a picture of Oz's girlfriend Eve. Oz's mom, Frances, her mental health gets worse and she tells Oz to end their life before her mind goes. Oz agrees. Oz threatens a city councilman to turn on the power at Crown Point. Oz then sets up a meeting with the other gangs and gets them to join forces against Sofia and Maroni. Squid hassles Victor after Victor tries to pay him off, and Squid threatens to expose the penguin, so Victor shoots him and kills him. Sofia visits Eve, and Eve gives up Penguin's location. Sofia shows up at the Crown Point apartment where Francis and Victor are dancing. She's holding a crowbar. And that was your WesWes, what the hell happened in this episode, synopsis. Okay, bro. Let's talk about that last scene, man. Because we talked about how this episode actually sets up 7 and 8. Well, I think that Oz is going to experience something that will change his life.
Yeah.
Turn him into the penguin. So he's been the same kind of character all right through this episode, or right through the season so far. Like a henchman, gangster henchman, trying to make his own way. He's a bum boy.
His dream, eh?
Yeah, following his dream. He's a bum boy at the beginning. He's just climbing the ranks of the mob, and now he just wants to be the boss, right? Be the boss, and that's his dream. But he hasn't really done any. There's no change, eh? There's no change other than just his goals, right? His goals has been with him, but his character hasn't really changed.
No.
We've seen the changes to Sofia's character and what happens to her for her to change. And I think when we see the end of this episode, we see Sofia with the crowbar. I think she's going to kill the mum, and that's going to be Oz's turning point, right? I think that's what's going to happen.
I think she's going to take I think she's going to kidnap the mum and Victor and take the mum to Salvador because he's so eager to sink his teeth into Oswald. He wants to take something away from Oswald, and if Sofia can give that to him, he might. Man, I'm sure he's going to sink his teeth into it. He'll take his time with it and enjoy it.
Do you
And
think Sophia's gonna kill them? Well, she can't really if she's after Oz. She wants to bring him
nah,
out from wherever he's hiding.
I
Because
think
remember, they don't know that he's underground, yeah, they or do they?
yeah, they don't know where the operation is, but I think they got a fair idea. I mean, they don't know where home base of the
Mm.
Bliss is, but now they've got a kind of a certain idea of it. But I don't think Sophia will kill him. Me, she just, I mean, kill the mother. I think she just wants him to suffer. But it's like she feeds Salvador. If she gives the mother to Salvador as a gift, I think he'll gladly take it as revenge for losing his wife and his kid. Man, bro, the penguin ripped him alive, man. It's like, fuck. Fucking crazy scene, man. And just laughed about it, too. I don't think it was meant to happen. I think it was meant to only scare them, but it just ended up the way he did. And he just set them on fire. It's like, fuck. I'll fuck anybody up.
In this situation, I reckon Sophia can afford to kill at least one of them at the moment,
Oof.
right? I don't think it's gonna be the mum
Yeah.
because I think her goal is to lure Penguin out, right?
Yeah, that's who she's
She
after, right?
yeah, she's after him, so she can use Victor or Francis to lure him out. Now, it depends whether she wants both of them or she just wants one of them. That means she can kill one of them. Now, I
Mm.
think she won't kill the mum because she needs the mum for Penguin to come out, right? She can kill Victor because Victor's out of the two, he's the least one. Like
Or,
if Penguin had a choice of who to kill, he'll
yeah.
kill he'll say Victor, right?
Yes, of course he will.
Yeah. And it
But
doesn't
I
make
think
sense. It doesn't make sense if she kills the mum and takes Victor as the bargaining chip.
hostage, yeah, it won't work. And I think she knows that already. She might, she might beat Victor to a pulp. And there might be a way of sending the message to Oz that, hey, we got your mom now, and this is what we've done to Victor. We're gonna do worse to your mom. So
Yes.
give us
That's
give us give us a piece of the business, or say goodbye to Mama.
that's the more likely event thing to happen. It's
Yeah, yeah,
interesting though because it's interesting that they chose to have her hold a crowbar because that's reminiscent of Death in the Family, the Batman story when Joker kills Robin.
yeah. With the crowbar.
Yeah, with a crowbar, and
Yeah, I
then
remember that.
blows him up in the house.
Like that was brutal, man. That was
That
brutal.
that was Jason Todd, the second Robin.
Mm,
So yeah, so I wonder if they're gonna recreate that Death in the Family scene.
sure.
Sophia will crowbar Victor and take the mum because
Yeah.
if you think of the story, like Victor had these chances to not go down this path. He had
Oh,
an
yes.
invitation from his girlfriend to take off with her. He doesn't. He had a choice to not kill Squid. He does. So he's
Yeah.
done everything for him to probably die because he's done these bad things. Because he's not a bad person. If you look at the character of Victor, he's not a bad person. He's
Yeah,
making
he's
bad
still.
decisions.
Yeah, and he's still that same person too. Eh? He hasn't really. I mean, he probably has transformed, but now that he's a murderer, is one step closer to one step closer to being the Penguin's henchman,
Mhm.
the right hand man.
At the same time, if they do kill off Victor, if Sophia does kill Victor with the crowbar, it will be kind of sad because the story has built Victor up, right?
Yeah.
And not long too, because we've only got what if he does die, that's only 7 episodes of him.
Mm.
So yeah, it'll be a bit sad, but it makes sense. They're gonna take yeah, if they're gonna bargain with anyone, it'll be the mum.
Yes, big time.
But with the mum having dementia, maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that will soften the blow whether she lives or dies by someone else's hand.
If it was her decision, she'll gladly welcome it. Eh? If it
Mm,
was her, if
mm,
it were Francis' decision, she'll gladly welcome it. But as Oswald will, man, he'll flip. Will absolutely flip.
mm,
So it's that might be the final piece.
yeah.
Because you see
Oh,
through this episode, like how he cares for her, like because she's cold, and he goes through all that trouble with trying to fix the transformer or the thing that turns the power on. Doesn't get that working, and then he goes. The final resort was to go to the mayor of the city and tell him to turn the power on in Crowds Point, or to come and fuck his shit up, and it's all for the mom. Even though he did help the people there, but it was mainly all for the mom. So you can see how much he loves his mom.
What was your favorite scene?
Probably how the operation's gone with the drugs in that, and he's got everything all under control. Everything's expanding. The business is going. That kind of scene. That the score in the background, that was pretty mean. And Victor's funny in the swing of things. All the boys out there selling their shit. And they're coordinating their deliveries and all that. That was pretty cool. So they got access to the entire city from underground. And it's funny too. Doesn't Batman have the same thing? He has a similar thing with his mansion. He's got access to the city as well.
Yeah.
It was like, what happened to run into Batman?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of things happening with this war going on, and no Batman in sight. So again, it's probably in another part of our town. But I think my favorite one. There wasn't many. Many favorite scenes. Maybe the scene when Sofia and Maroni was cooking dinner.
Yeah, that was a pretty mean scene too. I was going to mention that.
Yeah,
that was a mean scene as well.
So I thought that scene had to be in there if you were going to write a crime story with Italians involved. Because if you think about the movie The Godfather and Sopranos, Sopranos got the idea from The Godfather. The Godfather was the first mafia movie that showed a lot of food, Italian food especially.
Spaghetti and meatballs, bro.
Yeah, spaghetti and meatballs. Even that famous scene with Clemenza showing Michael how to his recipe.
Yeah.
But then the family around the table eating all the time. Shows that Italian sort of way of living, like with food, family, and The Sopranos picked that up. And in The Sopranos, if you look whole of 6 seasons of Sopranos, there's a lot of food going on, a lot of eating around tables, a lot of scenes in restaurants and all that. So food is a big part of Italian culture. Yeah. So it makes sense to be a big part of these Italian mob movies too. So I guess what that scene represents is because Maroni is Italian. So I think throwing in something about food, because it's like, and what he's making looks like a fusion of his wife's culture's cooking, because she's from the Middle East. She's like Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And he said that was his wife's recipe, but he has Italian ingredients on the table, tomatoes and cheese and all that.
Yeah, I think the yogurt was the wife's idea.
That's the Mediterranean ingredient.
Because they love the yogurt with their food.
Yeah, that's right. So he actually mentions that his son Taj that's his favorite part, the putting the yogurt. And Maroni sort of remembers his son and gets mad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Made me hungry too. Thinking about it just made me hungry again.
Yeah. What's up with the doctor?
Fuck, I told you he was freaky, man.
Julie.
Oh, that guy's freaky ass. Holy shit.
They didn't show the sex scene, but it's implied. Well, it's obvious. He's half naked, sitting on the chair, tied up, and she in the shot we see of her, she's like having a breath. She's just finished having sex with him. But when it comes to like superhero and having sex scenes, it's not really a thing, eh?
Yeah, superhero movies.
Yeah. It's not really a thing, eh?
We don't see it much, apart from The Boys.
No, so you can see this series is trying to push the boundaries, eh? Because they already got F-bombs and all that. Everyone says fuck and that. But they don't swear in the Batman movie. I think I heard them say fuck. But they say fuck all the time in the Penguin. So it would be interesting what happens in the Batman second movie if the Penguin does show up. If they're going to carry on that sort of tone.
I thought the villains say fuck in the Batman movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. I might have to double check that.
Yeah. Which brings me to a question I want to ask you. Does the series, now that we watched 6 episodes of it, and we're so well immersed into the world of Matt Reeves' universe, Batman universe, does this change the way you think of the Batman movie? That Batman movie? The Matt Reeves one? Or does this expand your view on this universe as opposed to Christopher Nolan's Batman universe?
I think the Penguin, like my idea of the Penguin is expanded because this is probably the early version of the Penguin. And where they're going with this Penguin, it's looking really, really good. It just looks like even the sets on the Batman, on Matt Reeves' Batman was so cool. And the same thing again with the Penguin show. So,
well, it's the same universe. So
yeah, same universe, and they're continuous thing throughout the TV program is so cool. You can even see it in Crowd's Point. Like I'm a big fan of special effects in it, and man, they're pulling it off big time. Even the storytelling is awesome. So I don't think I feel any different with the movie. I feel more invested.
Yeah.
In the Batman.
Yeah, I think
Matt Reeves' Batman.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like I want to see more.
Yeah, that's right. And it's interesting that it's a character, the actual set pieces.
Yes, yeah, they are.
Because it's unique, right? It's unique, and I feel like if I was to watch the Batman movie again, like just knowing the Penguin universe is the same, there'll be the transition will be smooth.
Yes.
Like it's like I can watch the Batman movie knowing that the Penguin is somewhere in there somewhere. You know, there's nothing. It matches up. There's no. You don't think that's two different worlds.
No, right? It's like the same worlds.
Yeah,
it's the same world.
Yeah, obviously, but the series does a good job in maintaining that world.
That's surprising too, being a TV series, because I would have thought they would have drifted off in some way where we do see a difference between the TV series and the movie, but in this case, I can't see any difference. It looks like the same.
Yeah,
the same place.
So that means it's well done. It's well done.
Yeah,
and it's world building too. Because when we go back to the Batman, when Batman Part 2 and the new Batman movie comes out, because we have been finished Penguin and there's nothing in between. When the new Batman movie comes out, we'll be going into that world again, and we'll feel at home. We'll feel comfortable because we've been there before. You know, we've. It's not like we were in the first Batman movie, and now we have to go back in this world again for the second Batman movie.
Yeah,
we sort of had 8 weeks of the Penguin in this world. So when we go back to the Penguin movie, it's like, it's like normal. It's like, oh yeah, shit, we're here again. Like it's all good. Like we know our way around.
And possibly some of these characters in the Penguin TV series might, show up. Probably show up some Easter eggs in the second Batman. So, you already off the bat, these characters.
Yeah.
And know their backgrounds and stuff, and it just all melds in together seamlessly.
Yeah. So I'll ask you another question, and you probably it's a ranking one. So I want you to rank your top Batman worlds. Your Batman. Let's just say Gotham City. What's what number 1 to your lowest? Rank all your Gotham cities. In reference to each of the different franchises. I mean, each of the different movies. For example, there's Tim Burton's Batman, so his Gotham is different to Joel Schumacher's Batman, the George Clooney one, and Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
that's different to Christopher Nolan's Gotham City, and now we've got Matt Reeves' Gotham City. We also got the Gotham show itself, that Gotham City, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got we saw it in an animated series as well. The animated series Gotham City, which is different as well.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. That one thing
because it's a different time.
Animated series,
yeah,
different timeline.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna. Yeah. How do you rank yours? I'm
gonna have to go with Matt Reeves' Gotham City as number 1.
Number 1. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just so well done. like how I was saying on the sets, you see the trash and that, the devastation from the floods and stuff. Even in the first Batman movie, how they were painting through the city and all the crime that was happening, and it legit looked like a city that was under siege by crime. Like crime was just running rampage through that city, and that was an awesome take on Gotham. I think my second one will be Tim Burton because I'm a big fan of the very first Batman movie. I mean, at the time, I thought it was cool, but now I'm a bit older. Realistically, you can't have buildings like that. I mean, the architecture of that whole Gotham City was kind of weird, and it gets worse when you come into the George Clooney Batman, the Val Kilmer Batman. Gotham City just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. It starts looking like a giant amusement park. So I think every other Batman after Tim Burton's Batman sucks. So I think Christopher Nolan's one will have to be third, and then I think the Gotham TV series will be fourth, and then the rest of the other Batmans like George Clooney, Val Kilmer's, will follow in line. Yeah, I think I've said that right.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if I were to rank my number one would actually be Tim Burton's one. Tim Burton's Gotham City would be my number one because I think it looks more comic booky than the rest, right? And I love the cathedrals and the tall buildings and the sharp points of each of the buildings. And if you look, when there's a scene when Batman's in his Batplane, and there's a view of the whole city, right? And it's like sort of like Shanghai, but not really Shanghai. But it does have Tim Burton's kind of style of what he would think a Gotham City would be.
Yeah,
look at his sort of his gothic kind of style, like you see in all his movies, like Edward Scissorhands, and even the puppet movie he's got with the puppetry, even like Beetlejuice, those kind of interior styles, like dark.
And the gargoyles too, a lot on some of the structures.
Yeah, that's right. And
on this tall as like church type, cathedral type buildings.
That's right.
Yeah, it was so. That's why I think that's why I put that up there for second, because you're right. The Comic Con thing on it.
My second would be Batman animated series.
Oh wow!
Because I love the 1930s Gotham City, that style with the, and even with the old cars and the Tommy guns and the hats, the fedoras, the suits, the trench coats, that old 1930s sort of gangster movie style. So I'll make Batman animated my number 2. My number 3 would be the Matt Reeves, the Gotham City, because it's kind of like the Matt Reeves Gotham City. It looks like a modern city, but it's still got some out of its stuff in it. Like it's sort of a mix between a real city and probably not. It's not like Tim Burton's Gotham City, but it's sort of like a Las Vegas version of Tim Burton's Gotham City.
I was gonna say, do you reckon it's like a Frank Miller type of Gotham City?
Yeah, that's a good one. Like Sin City.
Yeah,
it's like a Sin City Gotham City. Yeah,
because I remember seeing one of his podcasts, and he was talking about how he wanted Gotham City, and this Matt Reeves City is almost like that. It's almost the same.
Yeah. It's like a precursor. Right? It's like it's that kind of tone, eh?
Yeah, real gritty, eh?
Yeah.
Gritty. Everything is real grimy. Even the people in the city, I mean, even though they are tough, they look after each other, eh? Man, they're still human. It's kind of cool. Even the city itself.
My number 4 would be Christopher Nolan's Gotham City, which is just Chicago. There's nothing fancy about Chris Nolan's city. It's just a normal city in the city of Chicago. There's no extra special things, eh? It's just Chicago.
It was weird watching those movies. I mean, I liked them. It was a new take on Batman, but it was a serious Batman movie. But the Gotham City, there was just not. I think that was the only drawback of the whole entire thing.
Well, there was nothing fancy about it. It was just a straight a city.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was no. Yeah, it was not Gotham. It didn't feel like they were at Gotham City. It felt like they were in, like, I don't know, down Henderson somewhere.
Like like Auckland City or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're at Sky City. I was like, what the fuck?
And my last, and this is my worst, is Joel Schumacher's Gotham City. Like, I don't know what's up with the glow in the dark shit and the glow in the dark, what do you call it, graffiti around the place, and
And the multicolored vehicles.
what the fuck, man?
And the hell, like,
And
hotels, like, keeps it. Even the one with, was it Mr. Freeze? You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in it? And Two-Face Jim Carrey?
what's up with all the big statues around the place? Like,
Yeah.
massive statues.
They were trying to get that. I think they were trying to get that Tim Burton vibe, but they went overboard with the statues, man. Like, had massive ass statues. Oh, the architecture was just like, it was just overwhelming and too colorful. It's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
It's not Batman anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, my worst. And those are shit movies too.
Fuck yeah.
But no, man, that was good. That was a good conversation, just about the world building and how we're part of this world now. We're part of Matt Reeves' Gotham City now.
Yeah.
You know, when we go back to the next series, if they ever gonna do one, or the next movie, you know, we'll be right at home with the set pieces and that.
Yeah. Yes.
There was conversations about whether the series The Penguin was getting more superhero styles, comic book styles, or do you think it's more still realistic? Because there's certain bits that to me seem a lot like a comic book. Like, for example, I think the episode with Sofia and Arkham, that was pretty real. Hey, looked pretty real to me.
Yeah.
The next episode when she kills Vidi and dumps all that money on the table,
That was mafia styles.
that was a little bit comic booky to me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because who does that in real life? No one would do that in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throw the money on the table like that, and
oh yeah, true. With all Vidi's blood all over it. I was surprised with those guys picking up their money too. When I saw that scene, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna clean that shit.
So I think we had this conversation before, like whether this series kind of fights itself, trying to be a serious crime movie, be realistic, but battling the comic book lore of Batman.
Do you think they're trying to step away from the comic book lore of Batman, and they want a more realistic approach?
Well, I think that's the probably 90% of it. Is 80% of it, because I'm still not convinced with, like, even the mob stuff is not really, like, I don't believe that Maroni would give a lot of power to his wife, and his wife's not Italian. His wife's Middle Eastern. She brings all her Middle Eastern dudes into the thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's kind of, and yeah. The way Sofia kills her whole family that way is like kind of.
It's just like overboard.
Yeah, a little bit. But then, do you remember anything in the movie Batman? Anything cartoonish or comic booky? Because if you think about it, they're trying to be realistic there too, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, the Riddler was kind of realistic, the way he acted.
Yeah, I think the Riddler was absolutely realistic. Maybe the only comic book thing I could really tell in that movie was Batman, his whole costume, being the millionaire, having all that, building his suit. It's definitely comic book like.
Yeah.
I mean, and the penguin doesn't go running around in the giant penguin suit. He looks like an actual mobster. He's trying to rule everything. He's trying to take it for himself. So it's quite hard to see the comic book, any kind of comic book in this program. But I think it's very hard to say you can't see it in Batman when you got a 6-foot bat running around the city. A dude dressed up as a bat running around the city.
Yeah. Probably the only part that came to mind for me was that scene in Batman when he's escaping the police station. and he sort of glides off the top of the building and he crashes, inches himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, probably that. But I don't know. It's kind of like realistic after that. It's more realistic than the other ones, I guess. Or
Yeah,
maybe
way more
Christopher
realistic.
Nolan's. Christopher Nolan's was pretty realistic in a way.
Yeah, I think that's why we enjoyed it when we first saw it. Like when I first saw Batman Begins, I was like, wow, the different take on Batman. It kind of
Mm.
felt like the old Tim Burton Batman, but more realistic.
Mm.
But then as it went on, as the franchise went on, it's clearly seen that
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It was still shit.
So the scenes between Maroni and Sofia. Any thoughts on those scenes? Because they had two sort of. They're the ones when they're eating, and the one when they're in Oz's apartment looking for
Yeah,
information. Mm.
the one in Oz's apartment was busy. Like how Salvador was, he sees the photo, and then Sophia tells him that he lost his brothers and his mother, and then Salvador's like going nuts, like shit. I can't take anything away from him. That's why I got the idea that maybe Sophia might give the mom to Salvador,
Right.
as a plaything, and
Mm.
he'll probably beat the shit out of her. Who knows?
Mm.
We'll find out in the next episode. But seeing all that play out, and then how she just gives him the golf set, one of the clubs, and he just goes around whacking everything because
Yeah.
he's pissed off that he couldn't. There's nothing he can take away from the penguin.
Mm.
And Sophia goes into the other room and finds out that, oh, that's right. Oz had a girlfriend and her bitches. Let's go find this chick.
Mm.
Find some more information on. So yeah,
I think. Yeah. I think. I think the penguin's ultimate power, if he had any superpowers, was just his ability to scheme and make plans, right?
yeah,
And
and talk his way out of shit, and
yeah,
convince
that's right.
people. He's got the gift of gab, man.
Yeah, that's right. But even all the scheming and that, I mean, I think that's his superpower.
Bro,
And I think right through the series, like all his plans have only come undone by pure luck or pure, hasn't. I mean, all the plans would have worked, eh? You
yeah,
think about how they failed. Like the first one was, but it didn't fail at the end because he made it up. He makes it up if things go wrong, right?
yeah,
And that what makes him pretty evasive when plans don't go well. He can make it up at the end. But when Victor got caught planting the thing in Vidi's car, so he couldn't come through
yes,
with it. So he had to find something else, and it worked anyway. Worked out. And then the plan with Sophia when he was just telling her how sorry she was, and next minute the car rolls and it's Maroni's wife, and she sort of fucked it up, and so he had to sort of fucked up his relationship with Sophia, but at least he got out of it, right? And now
yeah,
even his plan to when Sophia said, "Oh, let's go start whacking the drug dealers," then to send a message,
yeah,
So that happens, and he's like, "Oh shit! Oh well, I'm gonna give it away for free to
yeah.
make
That
it,
was a good move.
yeah." So see his ability to just scheme and to counter scheme and come back. Like he's showing he's a worthy adversary for Sophia and now Maroni. Like he's a good opponent, eh? It's like a chess game, and
Yeah,
he's making sure he's ahead of the game all the time. And I think he's just doing that. He's just doing that. He's ahead,
yeah.
and it might come to a head next episode when we see what happens to Victor and his mother.
But
But he's
yeah,
still
you're
ahead of the
definitely
game,
put
eh? He's
away.
still ahead of the game. He's managed
Yeah,
to build this lair underground, and he's managed to build up the mushrooms again to make a factory out of it. So he's always keeping up in front, and now he's made his move to join the gangs, the lower gangs, into one, so they can go against Sofia and Maroni.
yeah,
So
yeah. He's really convincing you.
yeah, so I think he's gonna come up on top, like we always thought, at the end of it. But then it makes you think, like when he goes up against the Batman, it's gonna be someone that he can't really get over, right?
Yeah,
Batman's gonna foil all his plans from when he's the last when he's the one at the top. when he's got rid of Sofia and Maroni, and he's the king of crime in Gotham City. His only true enemy will be the Batman, right?
Yeah, because that's
And
IQ 400, bro. Straight up.
yeah, so they're gonna have their battles, and it'll be Batman, not anyone else in the crime, eh?
Yeah. I never ever thought it. I never saw Penguin like how Matt Reeves is pulling them out in this TV show. So it's like really far. It's so cool. I never saw Penguin like that. And this is such a cool show.
Mm.
Putting out all the stops.
What was your worst scene?
I think when Victor's has PTSD over killing squid. You've seen, I think the scene where he's sitting in the chair and sees a little bit of blood on his shoe. I think the other scenes too is when he's interacting with Francis, and like I think she mistakes him for one of the sons, eh? Like Francis mistakes Victor for one of the sons, but Victor just goes with it. And the cop is like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing, man?" And I tell her the truth. She knows. You're just making it worse, making the dementia worse. But I think it's getting worse anyway. So yeah, I think those type of scenes when when Victor's actor talking with the mother, Francis, I wasn't too, but I understood why they needed it.
Yeah. Probably my least favorite scene was when it was kind of like an anticlimax when Sophia meets up with Eve.
Ah, yeah.
She starts to the apartment with a gun, and instead of like, I would have thought she would have killed her in the end, but instead she gets information that leads her to where Oz is. So I thought that was a scene where nothing really happens, but maybe you expect like something to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My opinion why she didn't kill him? Because the moment she told her that Oz knew about who actually killed her friends, I think Sophia recognized the pain in her. So she thought, oh, she was betrayed as well, like I was. So I think that's why she gave her a second chance.
Yeah.
Like she saw that, oh, fucking Oz just betrays everybody. Don't even betray this chick, man.
Yeah.
This guy.
And it's funny, that's what the Asian dude said when he was also trying to convince the gangs to join up.
Yes.
This guy is just always backstabbing everyone. Look what he did to Sofia and Maroni,
But then he just comes out of the gate and just says that, yeah, I did that. Fuck it. I did it. So what? And they were still convinced. Like, holy shit. It's like, man, he could be the devil himself.
All right, Luce, just before we wrap up, any predictions for next episode?
Oh, man, I don't know. Like you were saying, it might be a heavy-ass episode next episode. I think it's going to go down, eh? Well, Alsa's got the backing of the other gangs. I don't know if he starts pushing straight away. We'll see. But I think somebody's going to die in this next episode, eh? It might be Salvador, but yeah. My guess is it might be Salvador. But someone's definitely going to die in the next episode. We'll see. Or two people might die.
I'm going to stick to what we talked about. I think Sophia's going to take the mum as hostage.
Yeah.
Try and lure Penguin out. And I think Victor's going to die. It's going to be the victim. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think Victor's going to get smashed to shit. I don't even... If he'll live through his injuries, we'll see.
Skipping ahead, though, I think Sophia's going to die. Maroni's going to die. Yeah. And Victor and the mum will die. Skipping ahead. Which leaves Oz by himself. And he's going to be the new head. And I think because of his mum getting killed, he'll just go crazy. And I think he'll end up, being the one on top at the end.
Yeah. He might end up killing all the heads of the gangs as well.
No, maybe Batman shows up at the last episode. I don't know.
Fuck, that'd be crazy if he does. Well, we gotta wait for that theme music to come through. If we start hearing it, shit, he's on his way.
But one character we haven't seen is Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't
Interestingly
showed up
enough,
yet.
eh?
Yeah, we haven't seen. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a surprise in the next couple of episodes.
Yeah. True that. I would have thought he would have shown up when Sofia killed the family, the Falcone family. I would have thought he would have shown up, but he didn't. Eh?
It was the other cop. It was the other
Yeah,
cop with the husky voice.
yeah, they
I
were
think he was in
husky.
the movie too. He was in the movie Batman movie.
Yeah, his voice was crack up.
Yeah, it sounds like he was a crooked cop too.
Yeah,
He's just asking where you get when is he still gonna get paid?
yeah. That's why he's like, hey, shit, everyone's dead. I'm still gonna get my money. That's why she was just like, nah, just give me some room, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, this guy.
Sweet man, I think that's us.
Yeah.
Good
It's all
chatting.
good.
Yeah, man. So next two episodes will be next episode. I think it's gonna be a banger, and then the last
Yeah,
episode we'll
same.
see what happens, and hopefully, part 2 of Batman doesn't take that long to come out. I think it comes out next year, this time next year. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Sweet, bro. Thanks for jumping on.
Man. Sweet.
We're supposed to. We'll try to do another draft, movie draft.
Yeah.
We'll get some guys to jump on.
Yeah.
Do some kind of topic anyway to do with movies or movie review. Sweet man. Don't watch the Venom 3. Heard it sucks. One of the worst. It's probably a bad year for superhero movies, eh?
It's a bad year for Sony, bro. Every year.
What was the last superhero movie that bombed? It was another one. Joker.
Yeah.
For too. Yeah.
I don't think I can class that as one of the, like a Marvel type movie. I see that on its own kind of movie.
Mm.
But yeah, that bombed as well.
All right, we won't be talking about that one. Okay, sweet. Let's catch up next episode. Bye.
Okay.